What smoking all my dragons, divine righteous almighty greats overachieving, never slacking. We got tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling part one from TikTok and let's see, original link will be in the description. This will be in my American Reacts playlist. Go ahead and binge watch that if you're new to the channel. Let's do this.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
My one teacher got fired for being a literal pedophile. He would message students on Facebook and ask if they could get dropped off at his house because he was lonely and intoxicated. My other teacher used to snort Xanax in his car.
I think the scary part about that is you hear a lot about that in school in America. You definitely do. I've definitely heard a lot of things. I've heard a lot of things.
Car, and he thought none of us knew, even though he was always 15. None of us knew, even though he hated. My other teacher used to snort Xanax in his car, and he thought none of us knew, even though he was always 15 minutes late to class. We also had to walk outside to get to his class, so we would see him snorting the Xanax in his car. I once saw an underclassman get punched so hard that their jaw broke because they spit on a senior's shoe. There was once a chemical gas leak in my school and no one knew about it until this girl passed out in the science lab. This one time a teacher got decked in the face because he was trying to stop a fight from happening. 2 guys got caught having sex while in the theater department prop closet. My teachers would literally let me skip class as
We got to do better. I'm just, 50 seconds. 50 seconds in, we got, doing better at this point is just shutting down the school system and homeschooling at this point. Like that, what? What? And, man.
As long as I brought them food from the cafeteria vending machine. Oh yeah, and we had active shooter drills 3 times a month.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
We had a gonorrhea outbreak because of the toilet seats in the girls' bathroom. The girls' locker room literally always smelled like period blood and feces. In the back handicapped locker room shower, there was a used condom in there for 4 fucking years, and we would dare each other to go in there and pick it up. I once caught my English teacher smoking a blunt behind the school's gym. The guidance counselor had a pill addiction. My history teacher never went to college. This one time a 7th grader punched the principal in the face and called him a pussy-ass bald-headed bitch. We received 2 bomb threats in 1 year, both of which were from students, might I add.
We used to get bomb threats all the time. I don't know what it is with kids and that, but that used to be a big thing.
Teacher would have a hangover, we would literally gamble. Literally, we would gamble. We would play rook and spades and poker, and we would bet real money. I've literally won about.
I remember when I went to this one high school, excuse me, and I remember seeing kids all the time rolling dice and betting and, right in the cafeteria, study hall.
$100 and a lot of Ninja Turtle watch playing some fucking poker in class. These 2 7th graders would literally fuck in the girls' locker room at school every day, and she ended up getting pregnant.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
I got this one. Alright, so boom. We used to have this experiment in science class where they gave you a cotton swab and you swabbed the inside of your cheek. Then you took that swab and you swiped it on a glass slide, and you put the slide under the magnifying glass so you can see your cheek cells. Well, one day we're in class doing the experiment, and this young lady looks at the teacher and she was like, "There's something wrong with my cheek cells. They're moving around and they have little tails." Teacher was like, looking perplexed. Goes over and looks in the magnifying glass, and he was like, yeah, those aren't cheek cells.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
There was such an issue with vaping at our school that they had to have guards stand outside of the toilets and sign.
This is a horror story. I didn't know I was going to cringe this much. I didn't know it was even going to be like this. Oh.
You in, sign you out, and time how long you were in there. I had AP Spanish for 45 minutes just to mess around with my friends in line. There were bomb threats at least once a year. During the PSAT, the fire alarm went off 15 times, so much that it got on the news. And all scores during that day were discredited. I knew at least 5 kids with ankle monitors. My senior year, my stats teacher was threatened, and they did find a gun and It was a rumor that there was also a pound of weed in this kid's car, which is around $2,000. We had to run from a woman that would chase us around campus on a golf cart if we were against dress code. So much fun. She also fell asleep once in her leopard print Santa hat during detention, and I just left. Sorry, Mom. I also just walked out of my first period junior year all the time. Nobody noticed. Our principal was fired because of anger issues. That's what they told us, at least. And during the day of the elections in 2016, several fistfights broke out and a fire was started. And look, the Golden Gate Bridge.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without...
Yeah, I'm not even like 4 minutes in, and I'm just like at a loss for words. I did not know it was gonna be like this.
actually telling me it was in America.
Hey, are you going to the football game tonight? Tonight? Yeah, it's red, white, and blue theme. Okay, everybody file out. Is this a fire drill, a school shooting drill, or a bomb drill? I don't know, just go. Republic on which it stands, one nation. Why are all of the bathrooms closed? Well, because one of you kids was caught vaping in the bathroom. Okay, but I need to pee. Did you hear Mr. Johnson got arrested? Pedophilia again? I know, right?
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
There was a kid in the desk next to me who rolled a blunt and sold it in the middle of class while the teacher was teaching. Someone put oregano in the air vents and got an entire building high, so we had to evacuate that building. There was a senior who put a senior quote as, "What all girls want to hear, I'ma lick your ass." No one figured out what it meant until a parent came to the school, was like, this is what this means, and she wanted the senior arrested for sexual assault and expelled from everything, but they couldn't arrest him for sexual assault, so they expelled him from all his senior activities, and he almost couldn't walk, but when he walked, they cheered him on, and it was super funny. I went to a different high school for about 2 months, but when I left that high school, there was a teacher who got arrested because she was sleeping with one of her underage students for about 2 years. After the Parkland shooting, we had a walkout, and a bunch of students just jumped the fence and skipped class. My senior year, a month before COVID, there was about 5 or 6 fights that broke out, and they were all fighting administration.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
I get a text from my son, "Mom, we're in lock-in." My heart starts racing. I get a police blotter notification saying there was suspicious activity near my son's school. Go on Facebook. Shots are fired. And I sit and I look at my phone and I call my husband and I text my son, "Hey, brave boy, please be safe. Please be careful. Don't do anything stupid. Listen to the teachers. I love you. I love you. I love you." And then I wait and wait for him to message me back that everything's okay.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without
That actually, what's crazy is because I went to Union Endicott High School. That's my hometown, UE. But I went to Binghamton High School for a little bit, and there actually was a shooting that happened that actually made like the news everywhere. Someone went into the Civic Center and shot and murdered, I think it was like 10 or 11 people. You could look it up, Civic Center shooting, Binghamton, New York. I was in school that day, and I remember seeing the military all through the hallways. Everything got just locked down. It was pretty crazy. So I've experienced that myself. Yeah, it's no joke, especially when you can hear the gunshots. It's no joke.
actually telling me it was in America.
In 2018, we had to go on lockdown because DaBaby shot somebody in the Walmart across from our school. Like, actually.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
One time I walked into the school therapist's office, like, sobbing hysterically and just being like, I really want to die. I'm really, really fucking depressed. And she told me to come back the next day because she was busy. There was this one girl who had a corn snake, and she used to use the corn snake to scare substitute teachers whenever they were being shitty. One year, the entire Model United Nations class basically got put on probation because their parties went too hard and too many kids ended up in the hospital. When I moved from Japan, there were at least 30 kids who asked me how I knew English.
Okay, so, I didn't know it was going to be that wild. I'm not surprised, but in a sense, still, like, certain things definitely surprised me. At this point, my message would be to homeschool. If you have the means to do it, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, teach you if I have kids, homeschool straight up. Get some land. If get some land, teach them how to grow food, teach them math, teach them history. I would even say history based off of their culture at this point, and teach them about other cultures. But teach them science, but really just teach them the basics, and let them experience nature and things like that. And I mean, it's no surprise what's going, like how America is now, and just so much. I mean, just from the music to, I don't even know where to start at, but it's horrible. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, what I just watched right now was ridiculous. That was completely ridiculous. And I think what makes it more ridiculous is it sparked a lot of memories within me, and how, that pedophile across the street, like, you'll remember, now. Remember, oh, this teacher, and then I'm starting to remember all that now. The rumors of this and that, and just so much going on, and just, fights galore, and man, people, a lot of these kids learn a lot of these terrible behaviors in school. Unfortunately, the school system is not really, come on. I mean, it's crazy. How many people I know graduated high school and just completely didn't do anything, graduated college and still complaining about being broke, right? Like, it's it'd be ridiculous out here. I ain't even gonna lie. But with that being said, that was Tell Me You Went to a Public High School in America without actually telling. Just hearing some of them things is traumatizing. America got to do better.